Hi, I'm Claudia Marroquin, Senior Vice President and Dean of Admissions and Student Aid. Thank you so much for logging in to learn a little bit more about Bowdoin. This 15 to 20 minute presentation is meant to give you an overview of Bowdoin, and hopefully you'll be able to follow up and learn more about the college, especially if there are things that you find to be of interest. I also want to note that I'm also a graduate of Bowdoin. And I feel like that's really important because we really draw students from all across the US and the world. And my own personal experiences might come up during the info session. I was a first-generation college student and came to Bowdoin from Los Angeles, California. And while I was at Bowdoin, I was an art history major and minored in government and legal studies. So I always like to start my presentation by talking a little bit more about how you pronounce the name of the college. I remember mispronouncing the name when I first met with an admissions officer. Though it's very silly, one way to remember is that Bowdoin rhymes with exploding knowledge. So we want to start with a really high-level overview of what a liberal arts college is. We are a college that really encourages students to explore the broad curriculum that we offer. We encourage students to really look at courses that they may have never taken in their high school. It's about exploration and about really making connections between different disciplines. We're also a small college, and we believe that that small classroom experience allows you to not only utilize your voice, but to really learn from those around you, whether that's your faculty member who is going to be there to really mentor you, or from your peers. And we are a residential community as well. We believe that students learn outside of the classroom as well, and that the leadership skills, the cultural opportunities really lead to a robust learning experience. And even though we are a liberal arts college, the full name of our institution is really Liberal Arts and Sciences. We do have STEM curriculum. Many of our students will major in STEM fields and an abundance of research opportunities. And I think it's really important to note that many of our graduates do go on to obtain PhDs in the sciences. So again, we do educate students across the curriculum, and students have a lot of freedom to explore disciplines. We are a selective liberal arts college of about 1,850 students, and we're located in coastal Maine. Our location is incredibly important because we really believe in the values of community. When you look at where we're located, yep, we're way up there, and that does mean that we do get access to all 4 seasons. I remember experiencing my first winter when I first got here, and though it may be a scary experience for students who've never experienced a winter, I do think that it really speaks to the type of student who finds Bowdoin to be attractive. Our students are not put out by a little bit of snow. They realize that they are here to push their limits and to really step outside their comfort zone. And we're located in the small town of Brunswick. Brunswick has about 20,000 residents. And on this slide where you see the tree line, that's actually where our campus is located. Right across the street, you walk into town and can take advantage of about 60 different restaurants. I think one of the beauties of being in Brunswick is that the community really embraces our students. And we're not in the middle of nowhere either. I mentioned how many restaurants we have. A lot of staff have our favorite spots that we frequent, but we're also lucky to have not only an Amtrak station, but a bus station located right in Brunswick. It's about 2 hours and 30 minutes to get down to Boston, and about 30 minutes to get to Portland, which is the largest city in the state of Maine. And if you're curious about where the nearest Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts is, those are both within a 7-minute drive of our campus. And being so close to the major city in Portland allows our students to come from all across the US and all across the world. That's important, again, because we really encourage our students to bring their unique experiences and their viewpoints to our classrooms and to the campus life. We expect our students to really contribute to the life of the college. And I think this is where it's important to mention, that our students are incredibly diverse across the spectrum. About 42% of our incoming first years are students who are domestic students of color. About 11% of our students are international students who require a visa to attend Bowdoin. And about 20% of our students are first generation to college students. And again, we are looking for students who are going to bring their full selves to our campus. I think the other important thing to mention about Bowdoin is our location. I've mentioned our proximity to the town of Brunswick and Portland, but I would be remiss to not talk about the coastal connection and really the importance of the outdoors to our classroom experience. 20 minutes from our campus, we actually have a research facility called the Schiller Coastal Studies Center. It is a hub for a lot of research that's taking place, especially as it pertains to climate change. The Gulf of Maine is one of the warmest or fastest warming bodies of water. And the impact of climate change is being seen not only across our shores, but our students are not only able to conduct research, but also really look at the human impact of climate change. And this is where interdisciplinary learning really comes into play. But our students also take advantage of the recreational pieces of the outdoors, whether it's the outing club, our largest, most popular activity, or to really be able to take advantage of the outdoors for the mental health balance and the mindfulness that our students can also seek and enjoy. This slide shows you all of our academic departments. So what you will see is that we truly do have a variety of departments for students to choose from. There are over 40 majors and minors that students can engage with. And you'll see everything from biochemistry to English and cinema studies. We again want our students to explore across the curriculum to find ideas and connect them to what it is that they're most interested and passionate about. And when you look at our most popular majors, this is in no particular order, but you'll see that again it spans the humanities, the sciences, and the social sciences. I will say that our most popular major every year tends to be government and legal studies, followed by economics, and then computer science, English, mathematics always creep into the top 5. But I think the other important thing is that about 47% of our students are choosing to declare a double major. For some, it might mean that they are really interested in 2 subject areas that have nothing that might seem to be related, but our students find ways to, again, connect those ideas. About a third of our students will have a major and a minor as well. And if you've done a little bit of research about Bowdoin, you may have learned about one of our founding values, the idea of the common good. It was our first president who noted that students who attend institutions like Bowdoin are here not only for their own private advantage, but to serve the common good. This idea that our students want to utilize their skills and their passions to make meaningful contributions to the communities they choose to be a part of. That takes place in the classroom, but again, also in our everyday learning experience. So whether it's the thoughtfulness that students show to one another, or the ways that they will engage with communities throughout the state of Maine, our students are always thinking about other folks and not just themselves. I think the other important thing here is that our students do not see their education as an end point. They want to really continue to figure out how they can utilize their skills and to continue to be lifelong learners. That leads our students to being incredibly collaborative. There's a saying on the coast of Maine that a rising tide lifts all boats. This idea that our students show up to the classroom prepared because, again, they know that their experiences are going to impact the learning of their peers. Students recognize that the common good does not stifle personal ambition, but again, they want to support their peers in their learning and in the pursuits that they might endeavor in. And our faculty members are right there with you. They're going to encourage you to really step outside the comfort zone, test your boundaries. They are your mentors. It's not uncommon to see faculty members in the dining halls supporting our students in sporting events or theater performances. They'll invite you to their homes, and they'll make connections with you, with alums, and encourage you to really take your learning beyond the classroom. And that can take several different forms. Bowdoin is known for being a top producer of national fellowships. Every year we top the list of students who have been awarded Fulbrights. We have about half of our students who will study abroad for a full semester or an academic year. They really, again, are trying to figure out how their learning may really be impacted by the lessons that they might learn on the ground utilizing a language skill, for example. And our students are really thinking about what their next step might be. So our Career Explorations Department also works closely with students. One example is our sophomore boot camp, where all of our sophomores come back to engage in all things career related. One of the things that I'll highlight about that program too is the connection to alums, to really not only start the work of figuring out how to get your foot in the door, but also to realize that your Bowdoin education can take many different shapes and forms into a career path. And lastly, Bowdoin also has a number of funded opportunities for our students, whether those are unpaid internships that Bowdoin provides funds for you to be able to engage with, or research grants. We want our students to really explore beyond our campus. And our students are really successful after Bowdoin. Because of the common good, I think many of our students do look at the nonprofit sector, whether it ends up being education, healthcare, government work. They see big issues and they want to be a part of the solution. And in the for-profit world, our students recognize that their education has armed them with a social responsibility. One quick shout out here is Reed Hastings, the co-founder of Netflix, graduated from Bowdoin with a math major. And I think, again, that really exemplifies what a Bowdoin education and a liberal arts education can provide. About 20% of our students will go on to graduate school immediately following their time at Bowdoin. And these are just some of the most popular schools that our students attend. Bowdoin students are lifelong learners, and they want to, again, make an impact in the academy and in their fields of study as well. And very quickly on the admissions process, we always say that this pie chart is really a good example of what we look for in an application. We're looking for students who are up for the academic challenge, who have really figured out that they love learning. Bowdoin is a tough place. We want students who are going to be able to keep up in the classroom and contribute in the classroom. But we also care about the young people that we're receiving. And this is where we look for students of uncommon character. We're looking for students who are kind and thoughtful, who really care about their communities and are figuring out ways to make an impact in whatever form is accessible to them. And I will say that it's very important to remember that we are looking at our students within the context of their communities and the experiences they've been exposed to. One thing that you'll notice that we don't look at is income. We are a completely need-blind institution for both domestic and international students. This means that we want to make this type of education affordable and accessible to all students. In addition to being a need-blind institution, we also have incredible financial aid. We meet the full demonstrated need of our students without incorporating loans. And we also provide a number of different opportunities for students to, again, take advantage of all of the experiences at Bowdoin, whether it ends up being the funded internships I talked about or additional supports for students who might be low income. And lastly, we were the first test optional college in the United States. Since 1969, we've been reviewing applications without looking at test scores. We let you decide how you're going to put together the strongest application possible. We recognize that test scores do not tell us everything about a student, about their academic potential, or their ability to contribute into our classrooms. And we have full faith in the work that we've done over the decades and continue to allow students to, again, put together the strongest application they feel is possible. And really exciting, a number of years ago, we introduced the Bowdoin Digital Excellence Commitment. Every student who arrives at Bowdoin receives a MacBook Pro, an iPad mini, an Apple Pencil, and all of the software that they would need for their courses at Bowdoin. For us, it's about digital equity. We want to make sure that students are on the same starting point when they get to Bowdoin and can access any of the classrooms and departments that we offer. But it's also about innovation in the classroom. We want to make sure that our students are also prepared for the digital world that they're going to be entering once they graduate, and we want to make sure that they have the computing skills necessary for an ever-changing world. So if you were to ask students what it's like to be at Bowdoin, they'd tell you it's collaborative, it's beautiful, it's hard work, it's a place to push yourself, it's a place to be yourself, and a place to call home. Although our students come from all across the world, one thing that they have in common is that we believe in them. And we know that they're going to be able to do incredible things, not only during their time at Bowdoin, but once they've left our campus. And the last thing I leave you with is the offer of the college. I think it's a beautiful poem that really speaks to what a Bowdoin education offers, but it's also part of our application process. We ask you to review the offer and to select a line that resonates with you. Optionally, you can also tell us why. And I always tell students, if there's something in the offer that really stands out to you, it means that Bowdoin might be a good place for you and it warrants further exploration. So with that, I hope you've learned a little bit about Bowdoin. Hopefully I've piqued a little bit of your interest. And please know that there are a number of other opportunities to learn more about the college. Whether it's other virtual sessions that we'll be offering, you can always visit us on campus for an in-person tour. Please be in touch if you have any questions. We look forward to getting to meet you and look forward to answering your questions. Thank you.